So one of the things that we were talking about last week was that we were talking. I don't remember who brought it up. We were talking about hip hop, and we were talking about how you and I always used to kind of. I used to throw old school shit.
You used to throw a lot of older New York kind of hip hop at me.
Yeah, and some of it you knew, and some of it you're like, "What the fuck is that?" Have you gone back and listened to any of that stuff?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
Which stuff? Which one did you like? Was it Gravediggers? You had never heard of before.
I never heard of Gravediggers. Yeah. So I heard it like 2 songs after you had introduced me to the to the one joint, and it was I dig it. I dig it.
All right. So the reason I wanted, because RB3 is an expertise, and what we were going to talk about here was that last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, I had seen, when I was at Sundance, flash forward about 2 years ago, I did an interview with Machine Gun Kelly, right? And it was for some independent movie he was in, and I just heard he was just kind of up and coming rapper. I didn't know anything about him, so I just remembered seeing him, and then I heard he's got this beef with Eminem, and Eminem's like my favorite rapper of all time. It's like, and I think he's like, he just did things that transcended hip hop. I feel that no one had done before him. And then I heard that they were feuding. I'm like, for real? And it kind of bounces back to this, and correct me if I'm wrong. What happened, I guess, in 2012, Machine Gun Kelly, I guess, was 22 at the time or whatever he was, and he said that Eminem's daughter was attractive.
Yeah.
And she was like 16 or 17 at the time. But then 6 years later, Eminem does a surprise album, drops this thing. It says basically about, keep my daughter's name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So then Machine Gun Kelly puts this whole video out dissing Eminem, and it's like 80 million views later. And I heard this thing, and I gotta be honest, I thought he fucking roasted him. And people, and it put him on the map, but everyone's like, well, now you're fucked, kid.
Yeah.
And then the track comes out, Eminem releases no video, but audio. Everyone's saying that Eminem won this battle. Everyone thinks that Eminem took out Machine Gun Kelly because I guess Machine Gun Kelly started his last one with "Your beard is weird." And it's like that's not clever.
When you're saying everyone, you mean like on the blogs, on Twitter?
I was looking at
everybody.
The main reaction I felt. Do you feel that most people are saying Eminem won this battle?
I think it's like 60-40. I think it's 60-40 Eminem. I think 40% of people are just gonna hate anything that Eminem does anyway.
Yeah.
Where
do you stand?
I'm not the biggest fan of either, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I like a lot of the early Eminem, and I really appreciate that stuff. I became an Eminem fan like around when he had like Recovery, but I think everything he's made after that has been kind of awful.
Okay. That's what Machine Gun Kelly said too.
You should go back to
Recovery. I mean that, but I think that's the general consensus about Eminem, like in modern times, though, right? Like, most of his stuff isn't that good, but for me, like, I'm still gonna hand the win to MGK only because I think, like, who was he before this whole, like, I didn't know about him. Like, I follow rap pretty closely, but I hadn't heard a single song from this guy. So now he has a name. He has 80 million views on YouTube, and he put out a whole video.
And him and his friends beat the crap out of some actor. Do you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that. No.
So there's an actor who, I guess, I don't know if he's friends with Eminem or whatever it is, and he approached MGK. This is TMZ. And,
you don't know which actor?
I forget the guy's name.
Can we pull it up, guys?
Yeah, find out. Just put actor gets beat up for Eminem diss or whatever it is. So he goes up to Machine Gun Kelly and he says, "You're a pussy." That's the guy. The third one down beats up Eminem fan over to show. So yeah. So basically what happens, he calls him a pussy, and Machine Gun Kelly goes, get the fuck out of here, right? Mm-hmm. And then he doing this whole story about what happened, and basically they beat the ass out of this guy, and his buddies beat him up. So it's starting to get really real, and then then he's performing. Yeah, that's it. Can you turn it up? Yeah, turn that up. Here, go back over.
Pussy. Eminem fans are crazy, man.
Well, but I mean, so he's basically he went after the guy because he said he's going after his daughter. But as far as the actual lyrics themselves, I just thought Machine Gun Kelly had the more clever
bars.
That's
I
think
the points that Eminem made were better points, because I think what Eminem said is essentially what I'm saying. But I take it as a win for MGK. But for him, this is his entire career is in this moment.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So. So I think Eminem pointing that out is very clever, and like that's more direct.
Yeah, I think it's the same way. Like, it depends on what you classify a win as. You know, if you're classifying a win as this being your moment where this is now, I mean, so many people who have never heard of Machine Gun Kelly are now being exposed to him. So in that sense, yeah, it is a win. But when you compare the two songs, it's hard because they're both They're both
They're
pretty
both really
catchy.
good. Yeah, definitely.
I think that, in my opinion, and I am no rap expert whatsoever, but in just terms of beef, in terms of beef, when I look at the songs, I feel like Machine Gun Kelly made a better song. Like, it's more catchy. It's something you'll want to re-listen to. But Eminem roasted him lyrically.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
think
he hit him pretty hard lyrically. Like, there's nothing in the song that MGK said that you're like, oh damn, like
really?
I
feel like he's
completely disagree.
Really?
Where are you going?
Yeah,
with
I
it?
completely disagree.
And
I'm
I wanna
happy
know what
to
the
hear
fans
you
are
say
saying
that.
too, Riley, in
I'm
a
really
second.
happy to hear you say that because I fucking love Eminem and I've loved him forever. But I think that Machine Gun Kelly kicked the living crap out of him because what Eminem was saying were pretty basic, like, you should suck my dick kind of lines. And he could have been talking about pretty much anybody for 90% of it. Is he better at insulting people? Yeah, he's had a lot more practice, but I feel like Machine Gun Kelly's hit like really close to home for Eminem. And always you got to remember that number one shouldn't give a shit about number two. Number one should never care about number two.
That's why I hand MGK the win.
This isn't even number one caring about number two. This is number one caring about number 200 million and five.
But here's a counter to that though. Number one has to defend the title though.
Well, I always disagree with this whole number one should never talk about number two thing. I think that's a very weird opinion to have.
Here's the problem though. Because the thing is, it's one thing if someone comes out and just puts out a little thing, Eminem's a turd, and like 1,000 people see it, right? Right. 1,000 people see it. Then why are you paying attention? 80 million people watch this, and you don't have a retort. You've got to make a
retort. It makes
retort.
you look like a bitch if you're not going to say it.
But he started it.
But RB3, what do you think?
No, I mean,
Machine Gun Kelly started it when he talked about
2012.
Yeah, but he wants to
hold on, guys. I want to
to
hear RB3 for a second.
But I agree with you, Roxy. Like, I think MGK really got into what Eminem felt insecure about this entire time. So I think it hit Eminem harder. That's why it felt like he had to respond.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that because Eminem does seem the most gotten to out of all of this. Like,
Yeah.
Machine Gun
'Cause he
Kelly's
did the
walking
whole-
around just not caring about it. He
Yeah.
knows that this is his moment. This is where he's going to shine. Similar to how Eminem did in the past with other celebrity feuds.
Now
when he
Eminem's
hit
going
scene.
around on interviews. He's talking to everybody. Oh, now he's explaining the beef. So I feel like he I think what MGK said is essentially what the fans have been saying for a long time. So I think it really got to Eminem.
I think
Also,
but that
the
was
video
also-
component.
So
pretty
who's
cool.
that? Copster?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I
think
agree.
Copster, go ahead.
you also add in the fact that Machine Gun Kelly went out of his way to shoot a video.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot more effort into it. People are going to be a lot more attracted because when you watch a video as opposed to just listening a song, at least for me, it kind of gets me into the song a little bit more because you can see the people or the person singing the
Yeah,
song or
that's
rapping the
fair.
song.
Well,
whereas Eminem just put out just the song itself.
Well,
Yeah, I agree.
Dorian,
Even
if Dorian's listening, I'm pretty sure he is. Dorian, put a poll out on the Collider video
Yeah,
Twitter
Dorian.
and ask them who they think won. Because here's the
I'll
reason.
retweet that
So
shit.
here's the question, though. Here's the question that I have for you, RB3.
Mm-hmm.
So what I feel is very similar. Let's look at the fight that happened this past weekend with Triple G and Canelo, right?
Yeah.
Because of the reputation, again, Canelo has, and because he's part of Oscar De La Hoya's promotion and everything too, he might get a leg up, you would think, in the scorecards.
Right.
Does Eminem get a leg up with everybody because he's Eminem? He's like the fact is like because I have a friend, my friend Shauna back in Queens. She right away it's like, oh, Eminem killed him, destroyed him. The other guy had nothing to say. I'm like, you can't say he had nothing to say. Yeah, the beard is weird line was terrible.
Yeah.
I started out with that. It was terrible, but like
Right.
he really kind of cuts in. I thought and maneuvers in and out.
Talking about his idols and talking about like how he
Yes.
does respect them.
But does Eminem get the leg up because he's Eminem?
I think coming into this situation, MGK was the underdog. I think after the diss track, Eminem became the underdog, and Eminem's not used to being the underdog.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he felt compelled to respond, to get himself back on top.
Is this thing
You know what
over
I mean?
now, or are they going to keep going at each other?
I think it's over. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe MGK, he's going to keep shining light on the moment. I mean, these days, beefs really only last like 2 songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we had Pusha T and Drake happen earlier in the year, which is also an amazing beef.
And they good now?
It just died after
Yeah.
like 2 songs.
This one's big. This one's really big. This one's
I think he's
catching.
pretty talented too, though.
Yeah.
It was kind of exciting to see.
But
Yeah, me too. I'm the same way actually because Machine Gun Kelly did a thing in wrestling once. And
Oh, he did?
And,
Okay.
and he's friendly with Jamie Iovine, who hosts my
okay.
show. And I'm aware of Machine Gun Kelly, but this is really the first time I had actually
Popped
listened
out
to one of his
music-wise,
songs.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Me too.
I was kind of laughed at him because he was on that episode of Catfish once, and he was like, so like it always. Have you ever seen that episode of Catfish?
I didn't see it.
Oh,
no.
it's the best because there's one scene where he's like mad at the catfish and he chases him down the street like, it's Father's Day and I could have been with my daughter and I'm dealing with you, and he's like yelling. It's one of my favorite Catfish episodes ever.
Really? Riley, what are they saying in the chat room?
Yeah, a lot of people are. I see a theme here. They didn't know who Machine Gun Kelly was until Eminem got in. Eminem definitely had the better disses, but yeah, I just heard who Machine Gun Kelly is now for the first time. M said he was way bigger at his age, using his name for clickbait.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
that
That is
Machine Gun
true.
made that some talking shit about a rap god, which of course is all about M. Aliens are probably laughing at us, is one of the comments.
That's good. That's true. That's
Because of
definitely
this,
true.
some of this nonsense. Eminem's wordplay was much smarter than Machine Gun Kelly, but MGK will be forgotten in a few months.
He might be. I'm not
very well might be
disagreeing with
true.
that. Yeah.
Look, I want to tell you also. I mean, I'm going to highly doubt that I'm going to become a Machine Gun Kelly fan. I will tell you that I am still an Eminem fan. I still listen and wait to hear what his new songs are because, like RB3, I'm hoping that he gets back to what he used to do. There are certain things that he comes out
What's your
with.
favorite? Like, what do you love that he's done?
You know what's funny? There was a song that he did that they played in Entourage that it's actually from one of his recent albums, and it's oh man, I can't. It was.
Is it Spacebound?
No. I'm going
25 to Life?
No, it was an Ozzy Osbourne track.
Going through changes.
Going through changes. Changes.
His changes.
Could
Yeah,
play
that's
that?
Yeah, I
don't
think
know
it's
what-
Changes. Yeah.
Changes is a fantastic song. Changes is fantastic,
I'm
and
sure
it was
I know
really and it was one. And what I liked about him was that he's just so honest, and he'll go in and out of his personal life, and the way that he really kind of that song. At the time, I was going through some shit too, so like it kind of spoke to me. So I look forward to his stuff, but I just think if you're looking at a fight and you're a judge in the fight, I just think this kid hit more power shots.
Me too.
And I think it really should speak to the fact that Eminem has had a 20-year career, never responded to a single rapper in his entire career.
Really? Never?
No, that's not true. Everlast. He had
Is
it.
that,
I
do remember that.
He
That
did.
just took me back. Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
So him and Everlast had a thing. So
But that's not a rapper.
Everlast
He's
was
more-
Everlast was a rapper. House of Pain.
You said who's
Really?
that?
Oh.
is that a
How
singer?
Oh yeah.
Everlast
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
How old are you?
from House of Pain.
House of Pain.
You don't know House of Pain? Jump around House of Pain.
No, I don't know that.
Get the
one.
fuck
I just don't think of it as.
Is that old school hip hop or is that?
Wow, that's
How old are you?
crazy.
I'm 21.
Are you,
Okay, all right,
are you,
fair
are
enough. All right,
you
I'm not
legit?
gonna get hit.
You don't know this
legit have
song?
no
This song
idea.
You don't know
doesn't
this
sound
song?
Does this
I've
count?
heard this song.
Okay, all right.
So they count as
Listen,
like
turn
rap.
Yes.
Yeah, of course it does. It's like, yeah.
He was the one.
I consider this
Yeah, I
like
guess.
rap, though.
I just never
This is-
considered
he
You
it.
say you
was-
consider this rap? No.
Everlast.
I mean, it's like pop.
But dude, Everlast when there's a lot like put on the Everlast. Well, actually, you know what? Don't put that out. I forgot because Eminem really goes heavy on it. But like Eminem and Everlast, they went in on it.
No,
man.
I remember all that.
They're cool now, but they went in on it. Yeah. But anyway, so.